What is up, guys? My name is Xavier. You are watching Neutrino, and Z. Neutrino is my guide dog, and I am Z. And today's video is actually really exciting. I'm going to be talking about the first stage in my very long journey to get a guide dog. I think that when most people think of like the process of getting a guide dog, they think of like doing the application, going to training, and then coming home with the dog. But I think a lot more goes into that than just those steps. So we're gonna wait to talk about those until the next video, and we are gonna talk about the kind of prerequisites toward getting a guide dog. At least for me, because I know everybody's I know everybody's journey is a little bit different. So I'm gonna be talking about my personal experience and my personal journey, which actually started way back when I was in middle school. So it's about the 6th or 7th grade when the idea of getting a guide dog really appeared for me. And believe it or not, I really didn't know much about guide dogs at the time. And honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense because at least around the time, very few people with visual impairments had a guide dog. I mean, the requirements are pretty strict to get a guide dog, so I'm not really surprised, but it is actually really rare for a blind person or somebody with low vision to have a guide dog. Most just use white canes or like other forms of mobility aids. Now, why did I want a guide dog? Honestly, that was really far back, and I keep trying to think of reasons that I wanted a guide dog back then in middle school, but I honestly just don't remember exactly. I do remember that a high schooler at the time had a guide dog, and I thought it was really freaking cool, and so did my classmates. But so I tried to learn more about guide dogs. I didn't really know what they were, so I did a little bit of research. Now, at the time, I was kind of lazy, so I didn't go super in depth in it. I mostly just talked to my friends about it and be like, oh, how cool would this be? And we did talk about it, and I even talked to some staff members about it. And the sad thing is that I was actually discouraged from getting a guide dog. Now, looking back on it, I can sort of understand why. Because I was in a place that honestly didn't allow for much independence. Although I went to a school predominantly containing students who have low vision, we weren't allowed to go out and do things because most of us were residential students. Well, not most, a few of us were residential students, and we weren't allowed to go out unless it was on supervised routings, called it rec. So it was explained to me that having a guide dog, I would have had to be able to go out more and do more things, which later on became the basis of why I wanted a guide dog in the first place, to help me go out and to help me do things. So let's fast forward. I eventually left that school and began going to a public school that allowed for me to be able to go out and do more things because I wasn't staying in a dorm. I also had moved in with my mom, and we moved to a bigger city that offered way more opportunities for me to get out and go places. Like, we had a lot more streets with sidewalks, a college campus nearby, community events. So just so many more things for me to do. That was also around the time when I first started getting into beep baseball. Really fun event. Really fun sport. I enjoyed it so much. We began traveling. So not just in the city, but we went to, all the way to, the biggest city of the state. I'm not gonna give away where I live, so I'm not gonna name that city. But we would go there for beep baseball, and I got to talk to other blind, low vision people that had more life experience, some of which even had guide dogs. And so I was able to ask questions and really learn more about getting a guide dog and figure out if that is what I actually want. Now, recall how before I said I honestly don't remember why I wanted a guide dog back then. Well, this is the time where it actually started to clear up for me. When I started actually thinking, okay, would a guide dog be right for me? Is this really what I want? And that decision was actually much harder than some people might think. A guide dog would help me be way less anxious when out and about. Not only that, but having a guide dog would allow me to close my eyes and give myself a break while walking, because yes, I was very capable of using a cane. I just didn't necessarily trust it. And I know that that's not a good thing. And O&M instructors, if you guys are watching this, I know I'm supposed to trust my cane. I just didn't. It just gave me a lot of anxiety. I was so nervous that I was gonna close my eyes just to block out the light and then immediately walk into something, because a cane doesn't help you avoid the obstacles, it helps you find them. Some obstacles you just don't want to find. And then also, having the cracks in the sidewalk. Try walking with a ceramic cane tip in a very, very, very cracked sidewalk. It is not fun. But on the other hand, do I have enough space for a dog? Do I get out enough for a dog? And the biggest question for me, are you blind enough to have a guide dog? I was so nervous that if I got a guide dog, I would be taking it away from somebody who needs it way more. Because I still have some remaining vision. I'm able to see certain things that are across the room from me. Maybe not in detail. When I'm outside, I am able to see some cars go by. I'm able to see specific things. But again, not in detail. And I think the thing that I just didn't really consider was all of the little things on the sidewalks. Again, cracks, lips, holes, so many different obstacles. There are so many different things that I just did not really consider when thinking of whether I needed a guide dog or not. And honestly, I didn't really answer that question for a very long time. But that brings me to my next point. Learning about guide dogs. Now, this isn't the same as researching. This is hands-on experience, learning about different guide dog organizations, the rules for getting a guide dog, things like that. I was researching different guide dog schools, trying to learn different things about them, and I was considering Leader Dogs for the Blind. They are a guide dog school up in Michigan, not very far from where I live. But I realized that they didn't offer, they only offered home visits for people under 18. And I wanted to actually go to the organization and get a dog because I wanted to be able to not really, I wanted to not have to worry about, like, my home life, I guess. I wanted to be able to devote all of my time toward learning about this dog. So I ended up switching gears, not really doing a whole bunch of research on leader dogs anymore, and started looking at GDB. And my mom actually came in clutch here. She found Camp GDB. Now, mind you, this was in a very crazy time in my life. I was actually just beginning to transition from my old school to a public school. So the previous semester, I basically was just doing virtual schooling through my new public school. And so things were just kind of busy. I was also, again, in the midst of baseball, things like that. So I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this camp. But I decided that I was going to try and do it anyway, because this was going to be a really good opportunity for me to learn about guide dogs, ask about the organization, and really just see if it was going to be the right fit. Because again, that is the whole point of this video, is I want to reiterate to people that it takes such a long time to figure out if it is the right fit. At least for me it did. I know for some people it may take less, but it's something that you really need to think about. And that's what I did. And I decided that going to this camp was going to help me. So I ended up filling out the application pretty quickly, because this was like actually really last minute, and I'm pretty sure that the deadline for it was like about to pass. We found it super close to just when it was gonna be unavailable. So we kind of had to speed do this application, and that's what I did. Now, I was gonna try and show you guys some of the application and talk about a little bit of like what it asked, because I'm pretty sure the application is probably very similar to what it was back then, and honestly I cannot remember it very well. But the applications are closed, so I can't show them to you. I wasn't gonna actually apply, obviously, because I've already gotten my guide dog, but I just wanted to kind of talk about the application just a little bit. But I am not able to. But I do remember that I did have to write an essay about why I wanted to go to Camp GDB. Now, lucky for me, I am a good writer. So I ended up writing about it, and it was a really good essay. Now, the problem was there were so many people who had applied, and again, I had applied last minute. So there were multiple people in this kind of queue ahead of me that were going to be able to get to go, but I wouldn't be able to go because there were so many people. And there was kind of this line, I guess, of if someone wasn't able to make it, then one person from this line would move forward and they would be able to get to go. And 2 people would have to cancel for me to get to go. And I kid you not, like a few weeks later, I don't even know, it was like a month or 2 before camp. I don't remember much, but like I just remember 2 people canceled and I got to go, and that changed my life, let me tell you. I was so excited that I was gonna get this opportunity, and I started making plans, started talking about it to my family, and friends, being like, oh, I'm gonna get to go to this awesome camp. And I did like a bunch of research on it. I think I kind of hyper fixated on it a lot, and so I started watching YouTube videos on it and just a bunch of stuff. And I learned that it wasn't all about guide dogs. Now, a lot of it is about guide dogs, and they have a lot of information sessions and things like that. So it's kind of 50% summer camp and 50% learning about guide dogs. Now I went for the 50% learning about guide dogs, but I also got to meet some really, really cool people. One of which I am still talking to today. We are basically best friends. And anyway, so I went to Camp GDB, walked in, the staff were super freaking nice, amazing people, and we sat around a campfire. We got to meet a lot of other people who were part of the camp. It was awesome because I got to meet so many people who were teenagers at the time. I mean, I think most of us are still. But I got to meet some really nice people who were also visually impaired. Of course, there was some drama. Definitely some drama, as there always is with any kind of camp. But I didn't let that stop me. It was actually really, really fun, I think, for the most part. We did a lot of really cool activities. I will show you some pictures. Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. I keep dropping my phone. But I will show you guys some pictures as well. They should be popping up on the screen right about now. So, TikTok, I just got off of a plane in Seattle. And we're at the car rental place, and there's a massive fire across the street. Like, even I can clearly see it. It's so bright. It's massive. I'm honestly surprised that they don't have like fire alarms and stuff going because it's so close. Yeah. So I'm also gonna give a flight rating. So what you just saw was actually a fire that was right across the street from the Seattle airport, where my mom and I had landed that summer to hang out with some family for about a week before going to GDB. Now, the current picture that you are seeing is of two people. One you can kind of see, and then their guide dog is right next to them, and I believe that is Ava and Cheddar. You can follow them on Instagram and TikTok. I will leave a link in the description, just because I want to give credit where it is due. Now, I cannot remember exactly the names of the guide dog team to the left, but I believe it is one of the GDB staff at the camp. Now, this video is of all of us campers sitting around a campfire, and one of us is actually singing a song. I don't know the name of the song, and playing the guitar, and it was really cool. Really good vibes there. I think it was like the first time that the first campfire that we sat around. Anyway, it was really, really cool. Some people there were really nice. Others, we had some drama. But I think overall the experience was very, very fun. I enjoyed it. And I think that we all kind of went there, to learn about the guide dogs, and we all
got what we came for. I mean, we all got experience and we all got knowledge, and it was a really, really good experience.
Yeah, me too, but I'm glad we have something. So,
Now, this is actually a picture of us learning about the skeleton of a dog, and we're all standing around the skeleton of a small dog, so not like a guide dog size skeleton, but we were learning about the kind of weight that a guide dog should be at. We also talked about the veterinary financial aid program that the GDB has to offer. We just kind of talked about all things vet. And it was really cool being able to see like the actual vet clinic that they had on the Oregon campus. Veterinary staff were very nice, and they answered a lot of the questions that we had about the veterinary financial aid program.
Cheddar. Not cheddar. So, I just got this one and I just got this dog confused with the other dog. I am so sorry.
Is it a girl? It is, I think.
Now, my extremely high-pitched and childish voice aside, this video was actually of me just goofing off and petting this fluffy boy's belly. I believe this was Jigsaw.
What's her name
Actually ended up being the dog that I hung out with. And got to take care of at GDB, at Camp GDB, because you get to you get to spend the night with a dog and you get to take care of it, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's like, it was like the best, it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I really want this opportunity. I even had to pick up his poops, so like I got I got the feeling of like what it was gonna be like to take care, and I was like, oh my gosh. He's so cute. Now, next up are some pictures of Jigsaw. And I think these are all of Jigsaw. And he's just the cutest boy. He's a long-coated golden retriever. Just the fluffiest boy. Had the most, like, chill personality. And this is now him smiling and his teeth out, and he loved to be close to me. And yeah, now coming up is a video of me having him heal, and we are going to my room in the kind of the camp area thing that we were staying at. I honestly forget the name of the place. And I was just so excited, and I was like, hey, can you film this? I asked one of the people there, and I was like, can you please film this? Can you please film this? I don't know why I was so excited about killing a dog, but I was. Now you'll actually get to see a little bit of the room in there. I know it's a little bit messy, but we had like stayed in 2 rooms. And again, this is Jigsaw laying down next to Sage, and then I think that's my friend petting him. Blurry picture of him next to my bed in the middle of the night. Him sitting down like a good boy he is. Oh, cane circle with Cheddar on the right side. That's one of my favorite moments. And this is actually a picture that my friend drew. And then it's got me holding a leash, and Jigsaw is right behind me, looking at me like a good boy. And I will actually leave a link to Mushrooms and Moss's Instagram page. That's the person who drew this. I don't want to give out real names just in case. Now, this is me standing at a waterfall, because the camp, it wasn't just about guide dogs. We had a lot of fun. We went canoeing. It was so
now, like I said
amazing.
Before, while all of those events were going on, we were still learning about guide dogs. And I got to talk to a lot of the staff about my questions, my concerns, like, am I too blind? And they said no. People with more vision than you've gotten guide dogs. Even my ophthalmologist has told me that at that point, I think. And so by the end of it, I had made my decision. I was going to get a guide dog. all I had to do was come up with, with 2 routes that I was gonna walk, or that I'd be able to walk with the guide dog. Or no, it's 3 routes. 3 routes that I can walk with my guide dog. Make sure I know those routes well. And then I was going to apply. I had made up my mind that a guide dog was right for me. Now, that's not the end of the story, but it is the end of the video. And in the next video, I am going to talk about what happened after Camp GDB and kind of in between Camp GDB and applying to guide dogs for the blind. And I will talk about training, kind of the application process there. I'm hoping that video might be a little bit more thorough because it's going to mostly be focusing on one topic rather than quite a few topics. And I want to apologize for how long this video is. I know it's a pretty long video, but I want to say thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Neutrino, NEUTRINO _and_Z. Again, that is Neutrino, NEUTRINO _and_Z. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please consider subscribing. Really does help out. I know I feel like one of those generic YouTubers that are just like, oh, please subscribe, I'm begging you. I'm not begging you. Like, only do it if you actually enjoy and you want to keep seeing the videos. I'm not going to count it against you if you don't. And please, the only thing I do ask that you do is comment. And I just want to hear your opinion. I like to foster discussions. I like to foster communication between different people in different groups, and just to kind of hear what people say. Just keep it respectful, obviously. But what are your thoughts? If you were in this situation, would you get a guide dog? If you are a guide dog user, how does your journey differ from mine so far? And if you are not blind, or if you are legally blind or just blind and are considering getting a guide dog and have any questions, feel free to drop them below. And even if you aren't visually impaired but have questions, again, feel free to ask. I enjoy talking about these things. Why else would I be making a video on it? Anyway, I'm gonna end the video with a picture of my guide dog. Remember, guys, don't let your fire die. Stay bright. Do you have anything to say to the camera? Do you have anything to say to the camera? Huh? No? What was that, huh? Subscribe. He says, look at me, I'm so cute. I'm so cute. I'm a cute boy.